Okay, folks, buckle up because what I'm about to lay out for you isn't just breaking news. It's the kind of earth-shattering event that rewrites history books overnight. And trust me, I don't throw around words like unprecedented for clicks. I've covered wild stories before, but this is on another level. At exactly 3:14 a.m. Eastern Time this morning, a courier slipped out of the vice president's residence at the Naval Observatory, clutching two sealed envelopes. One headed straight to the Speaker of the House, the other to the President pro tempore of the Senate. Inside, a bombshell, a single-page document signed by the Vice President and a majority of the cabinet declaring that the President of the United States is unable to fulfill the powers and duties of the office. If you're tuning in right now and your jaw just hit the floor, smash that subscribe button immediately. This isn't hype, it's happening live. We're witnessing constitutional gears grinding into action for the first time ever. But hold on, because here's the twist that turns this from procedure to full-blown chaos. The president isn't going quietly. Sources inside the White House say he's barricaded himself in the residence, ordering Secret Service to block the vice president from even stepping foot on the grounds. He's blasting out statements calling this a straight-up illegal coup. Right now, America has two people claiming the throne, two commanders-in-chief issuing conflicting orders. And smack in the middle, the folks who hold the keys to our nuclear arsenal. Yeah, you heard that right. This could get apocalyptic fast. Before we dive deeper, let's break down Section 4 of the 25th Amendment crystal clear, because misinformation is fueling this fire, and you deserve the facts. Most folks mix it up with simple succession. President dies, VP steps up. That's Section 1, straightforward. We've done it. But Section 4? That's the nuclear option for when the president's alive, alert, and fighting back, but those around him decide he's unfit. Picture a stroke leaving him impaired, or judgment so off the rails it endangers the nation. The VP and at least 8 cabinet members sign a declaration to Congress. Boom, the power flips to the VP instantly. No debates, no courts, just like slamming an emergency brake. That flip happened at 3:14 a.m. today. Legally, the VP is now acting president. But the president gets a comeback. He can fire back his own declaration saying, "I'm fine." And power snaps right back, unless the VP and cabinet double down within 4 days. Then, Congress steps in to referee. We're in that nail-biting first stage now. No counter-declaration yet, but insiders say it's being penned as we speak. Flashback to 1919. President Woodrow Wilson strokes out, partially paralyzed, brain-fogged. For 17 months, his wife Edith basically runs the show in secret, filtering info, making calls, while America gets fed lies. Lawmakers freak. What if this happens again? Fast forward to JFK's assassination. What if he'd survived but in a coma? The 25th Amendment drops in 1967 to plug that hole, ensuring we always have a functioning leader. But the framers bet on good faith. They never dreamed a president would stare down the Constitution and say, "Nah, not me." If this has you hooked, drop a like right now. It boosts this to more eyes. And trust me, everyone needs to see what's unfolding. Inside the White House, total meltdown. Staffers sobbing in corridors, shredding docs, packing up. The chief of staff, who dodged signing the declaration, is spinning this as a power grab. Meanwhile, the president's aides are drafting orders to axe every cabinet signer. Defense, state, AG, all of them. But here's the mind bender. If power already transferred when that letter hit Congress, can he even fire them? Are they still his cabinet? No one's tested this. It's a constitutional black hole, with the government splitting into parallel universes. 2 bosses, 2 sets of rules, chaos. And nowhere is it scarier than nukes. The president's got the football, that briefcase with launch codes. VP has a backup. At 3:14 a.m., VPs should activate, presidents deactivate. But who pulls that trigger? The Pentagon's National Military Command Center. Right now, the Joint Chiefs Chairman is locked in their ultra-secure tank room, sweating the ultimate question: whose codes count? If the president calls a strike, do they launch or mutiny? Get it wrong, and it's historic treason or illegal apocalypse. Our enemies are glued to this, sniffing weakness. Deterrence? Crumbling. What if a rival tests us now? Chilling, right? Comment below. What's your biggest fear in this mess? Why invoke Section 4 last night? Sources from Justice say the cabinet huddled secretly after a wild afternoon incident. Unconfirmed but consistent reports, President allegedly orders troops to snag voting machines in a key swing state pre-election. Defense Secretary balks, gets threatened with the boot. For the signers, that was it, the red line where policy turns to peril, demanding the 25th emergency ripcord to stop troops on U.S. soil against citizens. But the president's narrative? Wildly different. He's tweeting nonstop ides, tried yanking his phone, failed, ranting about a globalist cabal hijacking his cabinet. Calls it treason. Worst, urging supporters to swarm 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Protect your president. Crowds are swelling, some armed. DC cops drowning, begging for National Guard. But DC's guard answers to the president, no governor. So VP orders deployment. President counters with stand down. Soldiers caught. Obey the elected guy or the constitutional acting prez. No playbook. Wrong call. Disaster. Secret Service. Powder keg. Agents bond deep with protectees now told overnight the president's out. Rift City. Presidential details blocking VP's team. Swearing loyalty to the guy inside. Armed feds staring down armed feds, both thinking they're right. VP's improvising from a side building, running a shadow government. Elected prez holds the fort. Acting prez holds the law. Stalemate unless it blows. Subscribe and bell now, you won't want to miss the next beat. The clock's ticking. President sends his "I'm able" letter. Power boomerangs back. Then VP, cabinet have 4 days to rebut, kicking it to Congress. They assemble in 48 hours, vote in 21 days, needs 2/3 both houses to boot him permanently. Otherwise, he's back. That's weeks of limbo. Dodgy orders, market crashes, foreign leaders on hold. Who do I talk to? One report. UK PM waited 20 minutes, White House couldn't decide. This could turn ugly. Crowds breaching, conflicting orders to stop them. We're talking potential bloodshed over who sits in the Oval. America's bent before Civil War, Watergate, but this multi-directional yank? Breaking point. History's pivoting live. I'm locked in, monitoring White House, Capitol, Pentagon, any declaration, statement, movement, I'll break it here. Don't bet on quiet resolution. Institutions aren't bulletproof. Share this wide, people must know. The grenade's live. What's next? Stay tuned. Stay sharp.